Apparently, the last video I did cut off at the end. So when I uploaded it, it dropped the end of it. So I got through most of the Josh Emmett Mirsad Bektic fight. I don't know exactly what is left, but my pick is Mirsad Bektic just because I think he's going to be more versatile than Josh Emmett, who does hit hard, does have a good overhand right and a left, but I think Mirsad Bektic's versatility is going to be a little too much for him. I think he sort of picks him apart from the outside and wins by decision. The next one is Uriah Faber versus Ricky Simone. And the interesting thing about this fight to me, I'm not a big fan of comebacks. I'm just not. It's just one of the things where, let me put it this way. And I did SiriusXM this week for Luke Thomas, I think it was Monday, and talked about this fight a little bit. We went over it. Might have been the RJ Clifford fight, the RJ Clifford show that I did yesterday or the day before. I forget. Anyway, my point is, we went over this fight a little bit. And what bothers me about comebacks in general is you're almost never going to see a better version of the guy you just saw, right? You're almost never going to see somebody come back and they're better than they were when they left. Same thing for Uriah Faber. 40 years old, very athletic, always an excellent fighter, but this is a guy who had a lot of opportunities to win a title in the UFC. He had a lot of opportunities. Obviously, lost to Renan Barão, lost to Dominic Cruz, lost to Jose Aldo. He tended to lose to all-time greats, but he still lost to him. If you made a mini Mount Rushmore of fighters who never won UFC gold, he'd be on it. But I don't get the sense of, boy, if he came back and got one more shot, okay, he'd what? He'd get to probably maybe a title shot, and he had plenty of those already and never won one in the UFC. So the interesting thing to me is at 40 years old, he's always been a great athlete. I don't think it changed that much. He didn't take any serious beatings that make me think he's gone off a cliff, but he took some time off. He's 40 years old, and he's not going to come back as good as when he left. So what's he going to do? Why would you come back and then... He has a lot of business opportunities. He's doing fine. He runs Team Alpha Male. I don't know why he would want to come back. And in order to what? This is a guy who had a lot of opportunities to be an all-time great, meaning a champion, and was never able to do that. So how's he going to accomplish that now at 40, 41 years old? So Ricky Simone is a guy, dangerous fighter, but he's just closer, or actually in his physical prime. That's the important thing in this fight. No big names. Biggest name probably Rani Yahya, who he just beat by decision. That shows he has ground defense. That's important. Remember the Valishvili fight? He was losing that and came back with a guillotine, and Valishvili was out, but the fight had ended. I thought it was one of the weirdest stoppages I'd ever seen, or weirdest decisions, because he didn't really stop it. What's missing from his resumes are any big names. But with the time off, Uriah Faber has to have slowed down a little bit. I would go with Simone just because of that layoff. I just question a lot why Uriah Faber would come back. I don't see him going any further than he's gone, and we've already seen the height of his abilities even in his prime. So I think the game in many ways, and I believe it was Dominic Cruz said this at one point. He said, well, the game just kept going, and Uriah Faber didn't catch up with it. You know, he was ahead of the pack at one point, and the game just moved past him. And I think with the Ricky Simone fight, we'll see how much the game has moved past him. I don't think he's moved past him a whole lot. I think Simone wins by decision. I don't see him finishing Uriah Faber, but I think it's Ricky Simone by decision. The main event, Jermaine Randamie versus Aspen Ladd. Quick caveat here. I recorded the first part of this before the weigh-in. And it was very, very close, but I picked Aspen Ladd. After the weigh-in, what I picked originally was Aspen Ladd, the fourth round, KO TKO, I think. I think she had the ground skills, I thought at the time, the ground skills to eventually get to Randamie down, eventually work her ground and pound, eventually wear her out and get the finish. The weigh-in, her looking as terrible as she did, that really takes my confidence away that she can finish strong when she hasn't been in championship rounds. This is the biggest name of her career, the biggest fight of her career. First time she's main evented. The reason I picked Aspen Ladd before, Jermaine Randamie, a former champion, but a lot of layoffs. The last time she lost was to Amanda Nunes. That was in 2013. Since 2013, since 2013, she has fought 4 times. She just hasn't been consistent. I generally go with fighters who have been more consistent recently. Obviously, more names: Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington. Great. Her only loss is Julia Budd, Emmanuel Nunez, Vanessa Porto, but recently hasn't been consistent. I like her aggression. I like her stand-up. I like her ability to control range. She's naturally usually a big fighter, but of course, Ladd not able to make weight. She's going to be big, but I think it's going to hurt her later on in this fight. So in a sense, I'm changing my mind on my pick. I thought it would be Aspen Ladd, 4th round. Now, after the weigh-in, I'm going with Jermaine Randamie. I think she's more likely to stop her late as she slows down because of the weight cut. So you're getting a different version now than I filmed earlier, because now that the weigh-in's on, I'm going with Randamie. I would say I'll switch it around and go Randamie by stoppage in the 4th round. I thought it would be Ladd by stoppage in the 4th round, but after that weigh-in, I don't think she's going to have a lot of gas after the 3rd round. So I'm going with Jermaine Randamie by stoppage, TKO, 4th round. So anyway, sorry about the video cutting out before. This is the makeup for it, and I will do a wrap-up at the end after this fight to show what I did right and what I did wrong. Later.